Good morning and happy Monday, Roughnecks. In this one, we're going to be looking at Craig Hendry, formerly of CH and Thai Audits, convicted drug dealer and convicted wife beater. He thinks that if your wife drops your cell phone, that you can choke them out. We as society don't agree with him. Now, on top of those past convictions for very naughty crimes, he's also got charges pending all throughout the states of Kentucky and Indiana. And as part of his pretrial release, his bond, his bail, he is required, per the judge, certain conditions in order to remain out. He doesn't feel that way. So let's dig into it and see where he's right and see where he's wrong. Probably going to be mostly wrong. All wrong. Enjoy.
But I just received a Gmail from Odyssey e-notices, which here in Indiana is the court e-noticing program that they use to notify parties of a case that goes to court. So, as most of you know, I made a video 3 or 4 weeks ago detailing the order that the judge had given me at my last hearing, which was that I shall show up at pretrial release or the probation department, and that I will comply with everything the probation people want me to do. They basically sentenced me before trial to take 4 drug tests, 1 every week. This is before I've ever been found guilty of a crime.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
Actually, it's called conditional pretrial release. And when you accepted the release, you accepted the conditions in which you were to behave while you're on pretrial release. You accepted these conditions, right or wrong.
Now, that day, not that day, but that same week I went live. I detailed how I'm not going to do any of that. Like, I haven't been found guilty of a crime. I'm not accused of a crime even. I mean, I've been charged criminally.
Then that means you stand accused of a crime
in the court system, but I've never been accused of committing a crime. And I've certainly never been, done anything. I've certainly never committed the crime. The crime that they've accused me of is stalking, which is ridiculous. So anyways, we got this court order here today. I looked at them. I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to assist you guys in what you're trying to do to me. Do something about it. I basically told them, look, if you want to violate my rights anymore, go ahead and throw me in jail, but I'm not budging. And they don't like that. They can't stand that. But I expected a swift response from that. I mean, surely if they think I'm guilty and I'm not complying with pretrial conditions, surely they should lock me up, right? I mean, that's what they think.
It's called due process, moron. And if you spent maybe a little less time drinking bong water and a little more time actually reading the law and the Constitution, you would know this. Perhaps the judge is trying to give you every opportunity to not only do the right thing, but do the lawful thing.
Right, but they know that they're not doing anything right. They know that everything that they're doing is illegal, it's unlawful, and therefore they won't do it. It's been 25 days into January. No warrant has been issued for my arrest. I have not complied with a single drug test. This guy gave me till the 31st. This judge looked at me in the eyes in court and said, I'm getting fed up with you. You're testing my patience. By the way, 44 people in here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's great to be here. Sorry that we're having to do this so early.
You have better than 50,000 subscribers, and you can't get more than 44 people in your live stream. Sad.
Maybe we'll get some new people in here. I'm about to show you all the the tab that I'm about to show you all the order that the judge gave me to not, that he just gave me this morning. I just received this morning. I want to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to show you all what he said here. So let's take a look. So this is the order. This is what I got in the mail, okay? So this is an e-notification. There's Craig Robert Hendry right up here at the top left. Case number, State of Indiana versus Craig Robert Hendry, okay? Now, it says here that we can click the link, so let's click the link. Let's see what it is. Probable cause finding on pretrial violation. Probable cause finding on pretrial violation. Now, I'm reading this. I'm not agreeing to anything that they say in it. None of that. Full disclaimer. So, comes now to court and finds probable cause that the defendant, Craig Robert Hendry, did violate the terms and conditions of the pretrial release in said cause. The court orders the clerk of Vermilion County Circuit Court to: the defendant is ordered to report in person to probation and shall meet with his pretrial supervision officer on July 31st, 2024. They have given me almost a full 6 months that I have to do this by, right? Or prior thereto. And then to report, every Wednesday thereafter at 1:30 p.m. unless authorized to report otherwise by pretrial. If the defendant has already reported weekly for a month as ordered, the weekly reporting may be immediately modified by the supervising officer at the July 31st, 2024 appointment. Well, everybody, I told them, they sentenced, I mean, this is a criminal court proceeding, right? We got to keep this in mind. This is criminal court. Like, this is a felony charge. This carries up to 2.5 years in prison, right? If you're guilty of stalking, it carries 2.5 years in prison, right? I'm not guilty.
You should never drink the bong water.
But yet you are, Craig. How do we know this? Because you recorded yourself committing the crime.
They know that. I am being persecuted by these people. I'm not the only one, by the way. I am not the only one in this county, in the state, in the country being persecuted for speech. My only offense is offending people's ego. My only offense is hurting people's feelings with my words. I didn't do anything. I didn't threaten anybody. None of that. They're just saying that what I said cannot be allowed to be said anymore, right? And I didn't say anything threatening. Nothing. These people are just monsters. But I looked at them and I said, all right, if you're going to do this, if you're serious and you really think that I did this, just throw me in jail because I'm not doing it. I am not doing the pretrial violations.
But yet you are doing the pretrial violations because you're refusing to apply or adhere to the conditions that you already agreed to when you signed your release paperwork. You gave your word that you would comply with all orders. You knew this before you were released. So what you're telling us is that your word isn't shit. But I find that a common trait amongst you woman abusers.
I'm not doing the pretrial release. I'm not doing the pretrial conditions. None of it. Because all it adds up to, all it is, we look through the nonsense. All we see is a pretrial sentence. We see that a man has been accused of a crime. That man, me, I am swearing by my innocence. I am innocent all the way. The judge won't allow me to disclose any information to you. That's what they said. The judge said, he put a gag order on me. That was what my last live stream was about. And then he put these pretrial sentence on me where he sentenced me to punishments before I had ever been even tried for my charges.
So he's punishing you by making you stay clean.
So that's illegal. That's a violation of habeas corpus. It doesn't matter if a judge is doing it.
Well, habeas corpus literally means a writ requiring a person under arrest to be brought before a judge or into a court, especially to secure the person's release unless lawful grounds are shown for their detention. All right, Craig. Well, when you were released, when you were granted habeas corpus, you agreed to certain conditions while you were on release. And now you're completely not honoring your word. And the judge has every right to make someone such as yourself remain clean and sober until your trial's over with. He has every right to do that.
It doesn't matter. If a public official is violating your rights, they're violating your rights. Point blank, period. That is it, right? And so when this judge started violating my rights, I recognized it and I did not comply because I will not comply with tyranny. And after that, oh gosh, goodness, guys, I'm sharing the wrong screen here. Sorry about this. I want to share the right.
Well, perhaps if you were sober, you would have shared the right screen.
But yeah, guys, Hunter Reese ordered me to show up and take these drug tests as a punishment. As a punishment, he ordered me to show up and take drug tests. By the way, the crime isn't even drug related. Like the charge that they've accused me of, it's not even drug related. It's not even remotely drug related. I mean, it's crazy. But this guy is saying to me that I need to go take drug tests. I didn't do it. Like, I'm not going to do it. I won't ever do it. And because I'm not going to help him violate my rights. That's the thing.
Can you please point out the constitutional amendment that secures your right to stay effed up?
People get violated by the police, and then they expect a judge to uphold their rights. And then they kowtow to the judge. They show him all the respect in the world. That yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, your honor, no, your honor. And this is how the judges repay us. They are in bed with police. They love police. When a policeman is up on that stand, that's their drinking buddy, right? That's their buddy that's going to come to their son's birthday party, all right? He is not going to give you a fair shake. This guy blatantly just tried to say, screw you, Craig Hendry. He did it with a polite voice, right? He did it with a polite demeanor. But his the substance of his actions were he was telling me to do something, and if I didn't do it, there was an implied threat.
The word dilligant. That's spelled D-I-L-L-I-G-A-N, dilligant. And it means, do I look like I give a fuck?
Yes, well, the conditions of your pretrial release fall directly under something called judicial discretion. You might want to look that up.
And the threat was that you will be sent to jail, right? Well, I said it. I mean, and everybody should say it. When faced with tyranny, you should always say it. Screw you. I'm not doing it. I will not do it. I won't budge. And that's exactly what I did. And now this guy gives me an extra 6-month extension to follow his order. He said, you didn't follow it. I gave you 4 weeks, but you didn't follow it. Now I'll give you 24, 30, 28 more. No. Like, I save your orders. I'll keep my free will.
Not gonna happen. No, not gonna happen. Not.
So which would you rather have, Craig? Freedom or your free will? Those are going to be your only 2 options.
I'll do exactly as I please you. But go ahead and keep your orders for me, because that's something that I can do without for sure, right? We realize tyranny, we realize sanity, and what's going on here is a whole lot of tyranny and zero sanity. What I did, though, is I forced them to wake up. I forced them to snap out of it. I said, look, you guys are talking a big game, but I'm actually going to make you go do it. And they didn't do it.
And again, you might want to sober up for a minute and then reread that documentation. And tell me what has to happen with you in 2 days on the 31st.
But I also wanted to give a shout out when we did go live and we did announce that we were going to be violating this judge's tyrannical orders, which is a non-order because anything in violation of the Constitution is null and void.
Only on appeal, you freaking idiot. You don't have the right to judge in the moment, decide in the moment that you're going to violate court orders because you think it'll get you better ratings on YouTube. You are required by law to follow every one of those judges' orders until the disposition of your case. But hey, you want to play your little I'm a half-ass, bitch-ass, soft sit wannabe? Go right ahead, wife beater. You'll go right back to jail.
In itself. So it's a non-order, it's an illegal order, meaning that if I followed it, I would not be doing my constitutional duty as a citizen of the United States.
Wrong. To be a good citizen of the United States, you have to fall within certain parameters, like I don't deal drugs to kids. I don't beat up women. I don't choke out my wife. I actually raise and support my children. And guess what? You do none of those things. You don't take care of your own child. Your parents do that. You don't abstain from beating women because you've recently just got out of prison for strangulation of your wife. You've got how many stalking convictions on your record now? Yeah, no, you are not a good citizen.
I have to refuse this order. This is my patriotic duty to refuse a tyrannical order, right? It's better to live on your feet, it's better to die fighting than it is to live on your knees. And that's exactly what I intend to do. I do not intend to live on my knees with these people.
Unless you're in the prison showers, then I'm sure you live on your knees.
Do your civic duty. It has brought this up. Will the prosecution be able to bring this up and use this against you during trial? I don't know this channel. I've never seen it before. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a prosecutor trying to shed doubt or put doubt in my mind about this. No, I mean, the prosecutor can't use this against me in trial because this is me not incriminating myself, but pointing out, in fact, to the contrary, that they're incriminating themselves.
You're a bitch.
So if they wanted to bring it up in trial, I guess they could. I mean, like, they bring it up every court date because the judge is going to allow them to hear it or allow them to say it. But no, I mean, nothing. No jury is going to be swayed one way or another because I went live on YouTube. But
then why are you attempting to try this case on YouTube, violating a gag order?
It has to get out right now, because if it doesn't get out, it may never get out. They will lock me up. They will do all this stuff to me. And I'm going to tell you, I suspect the reason they didn't lock me up is because I went live last time and I told you all. I said, these people are doing illegal things to me. They put a gag order on me, and they're threatening me that if I don't comply with their orders, they will do things to me. And your response to that scared them so much that they decided to nip their tyranny in the bud temporarily. I'm losing a few people in the chat. I don't want to waste anybody's time or bore anybody. I feel like I've gotten it out there. If you missed what was going on, please rewind it. This is an important announcement. So we will see you later.
Well, there you have it, guys. We got Craigie, the deadbeat dad and notorious wife beater from Indiana, who seems to think that because he feels like it, because that he obviously doesn't understand it because of either his lack of sobriety or just his IQ, because he doesn't understand the court order that it must be unlawful. But it's not. The Supreme Court has already backed up the judge. The judge is on a case-by-case basis, depending upon the conduct of the defendant, allowed to implore certain conditions upon a pretrial release. It's no different than if he was accused of choking out another woman. The judge could, before trial, issue a protection order where he would have to stay away from his alleged victim. There's no different in this, that he wants the idiot to be sober so that he can assist in his own defense, since he's trying to try this case on his own. Yes, the judge is completely within his power to make you stay sober, you fucking idiot. Anyway, guys, it's Wrangler. I'm out of here, and I'll see y'all tonight. Have a good one.